Hello and welcome to UNA Today,
where you get your trusted campus and local news.
I'm Hannah Campbell.
And I'm Hannah Grace.
Florence police are looking for a woman who has broken into 2 different vehicles at Planet Fitness on Tuesday. The woman has been caught by surveillance videos outside and inside the gym. She has gotten away with debit cards and checkbooks. So far, she has used the debit cards twice and written nearly $5,000 in fraudulent checks. Police warn that people should keep their doors locked and be vigilant. According to officers, they say that she has been seen driving a silver minivan and that there is a cash reward for the information that leads to her arrest. Huntsville Hospital's expanding neonatal ICU is beneficial for Huntsville's growing community. Here's more details. The Huntsville Women and Children Hospital is expanding their neonatal care facility.
We've had phase 1 completed of our expansion, and that gives us the opportunity so that families now can go through the corridor to get into the unit. Phase 2 will be completing the space where the new 10 beds will be, and patients will be placed in there, and we're anticipating that will open sometime in November.
The facility is adding 10 new beds for neonatal patients.
They are an extension of the unit set up as what we have today. It is just a space to where the families can stay, they can be there based on our visiting hours and things like that. We are the region's only level 3 neonatal intensive care here, and we have a commitment to our community to make sure that we can take care of the patients coming to us. We admit over 1,100 patients a year and transport in locally, also regionally, about 200 of those patients annually. And our patient volume continues to increase, as well as the complexity of our patients. And so we as a system have identified that we need opportunity to be able to be prepared for the patients we have now, but also as the community plans to grow, that we're able to grow with it.
Hannah Campbell in Huntsville.
Sheffield City Council has voted to keep the entertainment district active year-round. Over a year ago, the council voted to allow Sheffield to become an entertainment district. This allowed for the public to drink alcohol outside of businesses during special events. Because there have been no problems, the council has ended this special event restriction, allowing the open carry of alcohol beverages year-round. The entertainment district spans from the 1st of 6th Street from Raleigh Avenue to Nashville Avenue. Although the vote has already been made, City Council must meet to agree on certain rules and regulations. Once those are agreed upon, Mayor Ian Sanford says that entertainment hours will be active from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. every day. A new state-of-the-art ambulance has been added to the kids care fleet of the Huntsville Hospital for Women and Children. The ambulance's unique design makes children feel more comfortable in times of emergency.
New state-of-the-art ambulance has been added to the kids care fleet at Huntsville Hospital for Women and Children.
This ambulance actually is our only in North Alabama pediatric and neonatal critical transport team. So it is actually a rolling ICU to provide transport here to women and children for their specialty care for our pediatric emergency room, pediatric ICU, and then our level 3 neonatal ICU.
This ICU on wheels is fully staffed with highly trained medical teams, serving up to 700 patients a year.
We've had our first truck since 2003, and it has served the community greatly. But as our community continues to grow and our region continues to need the specialty cares, we wanted to be able to provide faster care. We tried to get to them within 20 minutes. There are a lot of really neat aspects from the rocket. The rocket is fun and childlike. A lot of kids are very into that scenery, but there's also some pillows and other things we've been able to provide to help lessen the anxiety of getting in an ambulance for kids.
Elizabeth Sanders, the Vice President of Women's and Children, says she hopes the Women's and Children Hospital can continue to grow and expand its services. Hannah Campbell in Huntsville. The FBI have made great strides in tackling the American Mafia. Agent Joey Pistone infiltrated the Bonanno crime family, which led to over 200 indictments and over 100 convictions of Mafia members. This event was immortalized in the 1997 film Donnie Brasco. Unfortunately, this is not the case with the entire Bureau. In Buffalo, New York, 55-year-old retired DEA agent Joseph Bongiovanni was charged in an 11-count indictment, which happened in November. According to the indictment, the former FBI agent used this knowledge of DEA investigations to warn Buffalo Mafia members who were involved in drug trafficking. U.S. Attorney James Kennedy said that the Bongiovanni accepted approximately $250,000 in bribes to protect his friends in La Casa Nostra, Kennedy said. Bongiovanni could face life in prison for a drug conspiracy charge. Basketball season is in full swing and the University of North Alabama, but not all the action is on the court. The people who deliver the commentary are an essential part of the game experience. For sports lovers, we have a special feature with a local man whose passion for the game led him to become one of the voices for Lion Sports.
All season. As of now, since basketball is in season, I am the color commentator for both men's and women's basketball, and that is for the home games only, but that's on our radio broadcast. And after that, I'm essentially what I would say is a backup ESPN Plus announcer. Anytime that Benjamin Ray's not here and cannot do the broadcast, they can call me in and have me do the broadcast. I've always loved sports as a kid. I used to be very knowledgeable about sports and still am, just not at certain ones that I used to be. But in terms of broadcasting, my inspiration came from my uncle when I was a little kid. I couldn't tell you how old I was, but back home at the high school where he broadcasted basketball for 20 years, when I saw him doing that at a young age, something just clicked with me, and I said, you know what, that's what I want to go do. And now, ever since the 8th grade, he's brought me along, and I've been able to work with him full time, and I've learned so much from him, and I'm eternally grateful for everything that he's taught me. The sideline reporter before me, Mike Ezekiel, ended up getting a job over at ETSU, and so that opened up a spot for me. And eventually I was hired and brought on as the sideline reporter, and my role has grown every year that I've been here. And my favorite part is you can't really detail it down. There's so many things that I enjoy getting to do. When it comes to basketball, I love basketball so much, and I've come to know so much about the game. So every time I get a chance to broadcast, I know, all right, I get to break down some basketball, and I can tell details of the game that made a certain play happen. The camaraderie is another part of it, just myself, my uncle Brian Neese, and Benjamin Ray, the three of us, those are the three main broadcasters, and we've all got a good relationship with each other. And broadcasting is more than just showing up and putting on the headset and talking for however long the broadcast is going to be. It's a lot more than that, and you have to put in a lot of preparation. The more preparation you put in, the better you're going to sound. You're going to know more about the opposing team, your team, the players, the coaches. That's one big thing I've learned is preparation is so key in this particular business. I know, like with the basketball games, I'm the one that prepares the spot charts for myself and my uncle when we do the radio broadcast. So, all those that we have there, you may walk by and you see those spot charts. We've got them done. Well, there's not going to be many people, if any, that know the preparation that goes into doing those. And so preparation is the number one key. And I think there does have to be a love for it if you want to be in this business. Certainly learn from different people. And I'm not saying from me specifically, but like people that are successful in the business, but also ones that are broadcasting near you that can help you along the way, But you take what those guys do, not their entirety, but there might be things that you like that they do. And so you add them to your style of broadcasting, and then you come up with your own, but then also learn from the guys that you're broadcasting with and see what those guys are doing, how did they get there, and then bring that all together, and eventually, you'll be on your way as well.
Then you take a look, Peyton Youngblood, 6 rebounds.
For UNA News, I'm Harold Lewis, Jr.
Dr. Pat Sanders, a professor of the Department of Communications at UNA, has been elected as the District 2 Board Representative for the Broadcast Education Association. Sanders has been in the role since becoming a member of the board earlier this year. District 2 includes Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Sanders said that she is humbled to have this position and traveled to Washington, D.C. in mid-November for the executive board meeting. Sanders will maintain this role for the next 2 years. The Broadcast Education Association is the premier international academic media organization, driving insights, excellence in media production, and career advancement for educators, students, and professionals. Now for our special segment, Tech of the Week with Harold Lewis Jr.
Hi everyone, I'm here today to review a wonderful newer product that's out. I'm going to hit go here. For all of you who may be familiar with the Osmo automated gimbal from DJI, the Osmo Mobile 3 is out, and I have an opportunity to get to use it a little bit. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it on here today, but what I will do is we'll take a quick look at just a few of the awesome features on the Osmo 3. One of the first things that I noticed when I got it out of the box, if you notice, it's working really neatly to keep everything rather stable. It actually allows you to properly set the phone in the Osmo, and it will tell you, first of all, you have a direction that the camera is supposed to go on here. Everything is pretty simple, or me-proof. And you get it locked in there, it's really simple. It just expands like so, and it'll clamp down. And when you get it set, you click a couple times here on the trigger. How about that, right? It'll reset itself automatically, and if you don't get an error message up here that says gimbal error or that it's not balanced, then you know you're set, that you've got your phone evenly balanced. Reasonably quick pairing process, but just like with any Bluetooth device, because I don't think I mentioned that the Osmo 3 is Bluetooth capable. This is an exceptional piece of equipment. As you can see, it even comes with a neat little removable tripod. It's got an attachment here so you can grab it really quick, but the tripod just screws on and off like any other type of quick screw-in attachment for most camera and video accessories. Besides all the hand controls that you have on here, you know, you actually have tilt. You can swivel it all with just the thumb as you would hold it like this. There's also a trigger here. The trigger allows you to toggle between front and rear camera uses. It locks. It also has an awesome feature that allows you to lock on to what you want to shoot as you're shooting, and it will focus in on that as an autofocus, and you can actually use the touchscreen function on your phone and drag what you're trying to focus on there. So the last thing today, this is how small your tripod breaks down. Osmo 3, again, about to pack it all back up. Until next time.
A multi-million-dollar drug ring has been indicted after being in operation for 6 years. 18 people have been charged with money laundering and conspiracy to distribute heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana. The arrests follow a 3-year investigation by the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. Some of the agencies involved with the task force include the FBI, Homeland Security, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and the Bessemer Police Department. Out of the 18 people charged, only 15 have been arrested. The NCAC in Huntsville teaches the importance of reporting child neglect. They also have parenting resources. Here's more details. Pam Claskins, the Community Awareness and Prevention Director of the National Children Advocacy Center in Huntsville, stresses the importance of reporting suspected child abuse.
If
someone has a concern about a child's safety, it's important to make a report to DHR. DHR has the people who are trained to investigate, to figure out what's going on, and they have the authority to look into the situation. And the most important part is that they are the people who can help the child get the help that they need.
Pam says that even if you have doubts, if you question a child's safety, it is best to always report suspected neglect to keep the child safe.
If you have concerns about the safety of child, go ahead and make a report. You're not making an accusation. What you're doing is requesting a professional service to be done so that the people who are trained to investigate this, they get in there and they find out what's going on. Perhaps nothing's going on, maybe the child is safe. But if there is something where the child does need help, the child gets the help that they need, and you know that you were the person that helped make that happen. People are, if you have a concern in your own family, or if you have a neighbor where you're not concerned maybe about a child's safety so much, but maybe parents struggle often. Parenting is a really difficult job, and we're here to help people in the community with their kids and with their families. So we do offer a number of services. One is a case management service. So anyone that calls us or walks in the door, if they have concerns about their child, we've got people here who can sit down with them, take the time to listen, and help figure out what we can do to help them. And if they need something that we can't help with, we certainly can direct them to other resources in the community.
Hannah Campbell in Huntsville.
An Athens woman received a rare lifetime ban Tuesday from Limestone County Board of Education after being accused of aiming a gun at someone during an October 28th altercation at Tanner High School. Lucretia Sombre Cosby was arrested for menacing on October 30th after threatening to kill someone with a small silver gun she pulled from her pocket. Two men pulled Cosby over, giving the victim a chance to escape. Cosby was released the same day after posting a $1,000 bond. Her arraignment is set for December 12th. Limestone County Board members already passed down judgment, resulting in a lifetime ban for all Limestone County Schools property. How prepared is North Alabama for mass casualty or disaster? It's a scary thought that most don't think about until it actually happens. Hannah Campbell visited Huntsville Hospital to see how prepared they are in event of a mass casualty or disaster.
Joyce Thomas is Huntsville Hospital's manager of emergency preparedness, and she took us inside the emergency department today, one of the busiest in Alabama.
This is one of our trauma rooms. We have 6 of these rooms total, but it's set up for a disaster. We could put actually 3 patients in here if we needed to. The headboard is set up. We could put 3 patients, and the door breaks away to the other trauma room. So the trauma physician can leave one trauma room to the next, go to 3 trauma suites in one pod.
She says if there's an active shooter or any kind of disaster in the region, the staff is trained and prepared to handle the influx of patients.
And does the system work? Do we have the equipment in the right place? Do we have the staff positioned in the right place? Are we ready? We want to iron out any little bitty glitch that could cause us a problem down the road.
She looks at other major events to make sure they can manage a similar number of patients. For example, when the shooting happened in Las Vegas, more than 250 people went to the emergency department.
We want to be able to manage that too. If that's the magic number, 250, then we're planning 250 for 2 o'clock in the morning.
The hospital does constant training, including community drills, with the city, the school system, and the airport. They also do a lot of internal drills. After the April 27th tornadoes in 2011, Thomas says they restructured their emergency plan, and now they use 2-way radios.
So if the power goes out and the phone lines go out, and if we get hit by a tornado, we still got the backup radio. Now we can't sit back and say it won't ever happen to us. That's not the way to be planning. We want to be very proactive, and we want to be there. We don't want to let our community down.
The hospital's training extends beyond mass casualties. They prepare for outbreaks, highly infectious diseases, and radiation exposure. We thank them for sharing information about their training and preparations with our viewers. In Huntsville, Hannah Campbell. Sex trafficking is a $150 billion business worldwide. The United States has ranked as one of the worst countries in the world for human trafficking. And this problem isn't just in big cities. It's a major problem here in Alabama. According to the newspaper Beham Now, Interstate 20 is the most heavily trafficked stretch of interstate in the U.S., as confirmed by Homeland Security investigations. The 140-mile stretch between Birmingham and Atlanta is known as the sex trafficking superhighway. According to Alabama Public Radio in 2017, there were 1,200 suspected victims of human trafficking in Alabama alone, but estimates put the real figure at much higher. Most cases go unsolved or never reported. The actual figure is closer to 12,000 just in Alabama in 2017. The University of Alabama College of Social Work found that another number that could give an even clearer picture of trafficking in Alabama. It's based on when traffickers come out in the open and advertise on the internet. 2 years ago, the college counted those ads, and the total was 641,000 just in Alabama, just in 2017. Are you looking for a good night out? A trip to Huntsville may just be the thing you need. The hours of the entertainment district have expanded.
Your evenings in downtown Huntsville just got a lot more lively. You can now walk around with a purple cup in hand longer. The hours of the entertainment district have been expanded.
They'll begin at 12 noon and last until 11 p.m. every night, 7 nights a week.
A change Sue Ann Griffith helped start.
Figured somebody should say something, and I was like, why not go try and see if we can get it passed.
Griffith grew up in Huntsville.
Growing up, there weren't a lot of things downtown.
She also knew the city's entertainment district hours needed to change.
People are having a hard time remembering what days the entertainment district was and wasn't active and what hours.
Griffith did her research.
City planners, city council, got a lot of other people involved in the town that love the entertainment district, so we could all kind of join together.
While the time you can walk around with downtown and this in your hand has expanded, city council has made some changes. They also expanded the entertainment district here at Campus 805 to include the Stove House just down the street.
This is kind of how city council is supposed to work, is I live here, go to them with a concern, and then seeing them follow through and address all of the concerns and then make something happen from just citizen commentary.
It shows that we can have these types of facilities and they can be neighborhood friendly.
Increasing foot traffic and putting more drinks in your cup. In Huntsville, Hannah Campbell.
In a tragic ending to a month-long search for a missing Auburn teenager, Anaya Blanchard remains were found in a wooded area in Madison County on November 25th. Blanchard is the stepdaughter of UFC heavyweight Walt Harris. A medical examiner has ruled her death a homicide by gunshot wound. Auburn police determined that Ibrahim Yazid abducted Blanchard from a Chevron station, and his charges have now been updated from kidnapping, abduction to capital murder. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Yazid is one of 3 suspects arrested in the case. The 2 others charged in connection to the case are 35-year-old Antoine Squirmy Fisher and 63-year-old David Lee Johnson Jr. On November 12th, the final round for the 12th annual speech contest was held at UNA. Wes Tomlinson was on the site to cover the event.
For the benefit of our contestants.
On Tuesday evening, the 12th annual speech contest took place in the Communications Building at UNA. Dr. Stephanie Montgomery, a professor in the Communications Department, hosted the event. Contestants spoke to a crowded audience concerning many topics. The first speech was examining the keto diet and its effects on the body.
Carbs do not make you gain weight. This is a chemical component of the ketogenic diet, not a mental component. 2, weight loss is hard. The ketogenic diet will not affect your body how you expect it to, and it will not feel good. 3, becoming healthier is an alteration of your mindset and the choices you make. The ketogenic diet does not satisfy this mental progression because it was not created originally for weight loss.
The second contestant gave a passionate speech about Jackie Robinson.
fire that Robinson had against white supremacy put him on the top of Branch Rickey, the GM of the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time, put him on the top of his list to break the color barrier in baseball.
The third contestant spoke about the Super Bowl and how it ties into our everyday
The San Francisco 49ers mounted a great comeback to keep the American audience entertained. So through great city locations, entertaining games, meme culture produced by events and commercials, pop culture, music, getting a huge stage, and great storylines such as the Harbaugh Bowl. The Super Bowl creates something truly iconic to reflect American culture that nothing else truly does.
Fourth and final contestant, Darren Schwartz, gave a speech about being cautious of sociopaths.
Sociopaths lack an emotional bond to things. They have a hard time with behaviors and commitments because in order to form those bonds, there has to be some sort of gain on their behalf.
She placed first prize with that speech.
Miss Clara Ashley.
Afterwards, I sat down with some judges and asked them what they think a good speech is.
What constitutes a good speech to you guys?
Well, I guess the first thing would be one that grabs your attention in the beginning and holds it until the end. It's informative and intriguing, especially when it has a conclusion that is that you remember, that you hang on to.
Tangible, but it's really not. It's really, there are specifics, like he said, of having a good opening, getting people's attention, and kind of holding that. A little bit of humor kind of helps. A little bit of, oh my, I didn't know that. Oh, you know, that kind of stuff. So, so I think the checklist does help me. And in the end, it seems to work out with the same. The more checks, I ended up enjoying the speech more.
Yeah. What constitutes a good speech to you?
Well, the most important thing is actually a speaker who can connect with their audience. And so a speech that the audience can relate to at every step and point along the way. But I also think that delivery skills are important, you know, a conversational style. Just really comfortable and relaxed, even if you're nervous inside. But an organized speech, right, we can't dismiss the importance of that too. Something that is organized and so that your audience can follow and that makes sense.
Reporting for UNA, I'm Wes Tomlinson.
Thank you for joining us today, where it's always a great day at UNA.
Join us again at noon, 4, 6 to get your UNA news.